Will nuclear energy return to Oklahoma? A state-ordered study on hold with no funding.
Also, I think be prepared for the fact that that doesn't happen.
What commissioners want now and who would foot the bill?
The warmth has returned, but new data rolling in shows a cold front on the way. Wind temperatures will drop back into the 70s.
It would be costing a family upwards of $7,000 to put one child in childcare for a year.
Can free childcare keep teachers in the classroom? A new program lets teachers get care for their own kids at no cost. Why educators say it could help recruit and retain staff.
Live, local, late breaking. This is KOCO 5 News at 6.
Will nuclear energy return to Oklahoma? A study on that possibility now on hold, facing a financial standstill. KOCO's Kylie Thomas joins us live. Kylie, the legislature ordered a state agency to look into the pros and cons of nuclear energy generation.
Yeah, the Corporation Commission has a tall order ahead of them. By March 9th, they're supposed to submit the findings of this nuclear study, but they weren't given any money to hire an expert. It's an issue that's getting more attention because of Oklahoma's troubled past with nuclear energy.
I just don't think the legislature is serious about this.
Deadlines and no dollars. That's the hand the Oklahoma Corporation Commission was dealt to study bringing back nuclear energy generation in Oklahoma. The legislature ordered the commission to answer these questions: the pros and cons of generating nuclear energy in the state, along with its economic and environmental impacts. Right now in Oklahoma, there is still radioactive material that hasn't been cleaned up from previous nuclear producing sites. To get the best results for the study, they say they need to hire a consulting firm at a cost of $125,000, and they don't want that money to come from your power bills.
I do not want to use PED assessment dollars on this because I feel like that puts this whole study on the backs of the ratepayers of our regulated utilities are paying for a study that the legislature should have given us the money for.
Instead, in a strong message to lawmakers, the commission voted to request supplemental appropriations from the legislature to cover the bill.
But we have to also, I think, be prepared for the fact that that doesn't happen.
Well, then that really signals to us that they don't care one way or the other.
Now, commissioners are interested in hiring Enercon. This is a national engineering and environmental firm that already has an office here in OKC. Now, they're already familiar with Oklahoma's nuclear contamination. We have confirmed that at one point they were contracted to clean up the plant in Crescent. That site is set to be clear by 2039. Reporting live in OKC, Kylie Thomas, KOCO 5 News.
Very interesting. Kylie, thank you. New at 6 o'clock at Turning Point USA, speaking out after a canceled event at OU. Mary S. Karp was set to speak Tuesday night about the war in Israel, but the group says after they announced their plans, she started receiving death threats. They say promises of violence made the event too dangerous for them to hold at OU. So far, this does not have an impact on the already planned tour. That's going to be October 16th. Actor Russell Brand, reality TV star Savannah Chrisley, and Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt are set to be there. That is free to attend. You do need to register beforehand. Turning Point USA, of course, was founded by conservative activist Charlie Kirk, who was assassinated last month. Now to weather, the heat has returned. Chief Meteorologist Damon Lane joining us now. And Damon, it'll stick around for the weekend.
Yeah, certainly will. This is the warmth that we've been talking about making a comeback. This time of the year, we should be in the mid 70s. Here we are right now in the mid 80s in Oklahoma City. This after reaching a high of 86 degrees, which is what we're still finding right now in Norman. But we're playing football in Oklahoma and in Texas this weekend. So let's take you to Stillwater for Saturday afternoon. This is going to be a bit of an earlier kickoff. So temperatures, they're mild to start. In the upper 70s, feels great. Mid 80s, dry and warm by the end of the game. And then OU in Texas, that's a bit of a later kickoff, which means when the game is ending, that is going to be during the peak warmth of the day. near 90 degrees. So here's what we're looking ahead to, keeping a close eye on the tropics for some rain chances in the forecast. Otherwise, our next strong cold front, we are watching it closely, and how long you will have to wait for the first freeze of the season to move in. Coming up, back to you.
Damon, thank you. Oklahoma ranks 46 in the nation for food insecurity. Our state lawmakers taking a look at childhood hunger. KOCO's Evan Onstott joining us now live in the newsroom. Evan, with an interim study.
And food insecurity is something we talk a lot about here at KOCO 5. Teenage food insecurity was linked to worse mental health. Some presenters at this interim study even called hunger a national security issue. A retired Air Force Brigadier General at Tinker testified that most young Americans do not meet military health and fitness standards, which he believes can be tied to childhood hunger.
We want to make sure that America stays this incredible country that we believe it is today, and there's lots of reasons for that. One of our concerns is that only 77% of America's young people are not eligible for military service. So if we had 100 people in this room, 77 of them would have to leave. So we're down to 23% of the people of America that are eligible for military service. If you were a businessman, you couldn't operate knowing that only 1 out of 4 people is all you could hire for your business, and that's where we're at.
This was a bipartisan meeting, Democrats and Republicans actively participating, discussing potential solutions. Some possibilities that were discussed today included expanding SNAP programs, school and summer meals programs as well, using local produce as they can, and also creating a bipartisan task force aimed at high-quality, no-cost school meals. Back to you.
New information on that shots fired call near a school bus stop. You're looking here at exclusive video from a student on an Oklahoma City public school bus. It shows students in a fight while the bus is dropping kids off after school Wednesday. This was the scene near Northwest 122nd and Wonker. Just minutes after that video was taken, police say 32-year-old Lakita Dawson showed up to confront the students who were yelling out the window. Witnesses said that she went home, came back with a gun, and followed the bus. When the bus stopped again, police say Dawson pulled into a driveway. You're seeing some video here. That is where she allegedly got into a confrontation with some other parents, pointed a gun at them, even fired a shot. Nobody was hit by the bullets, but video from a neighbor shows that shot sent people scattering, cars crashing, and the suspects speeding down the street. Today, parents told us they were furious that children were let off the bus into that chaos. Some parents told KOCO that their children actually stayed home today, so shaken up from that experience. We asked Oklahoma City Public Schools, what is your protocol when students are on a bus incident like this? We have their statement at KOCO.com.
Does help lessen the childcare desert that Oklahoma is known for.
Retain and recruit. That is the goal for Oklahoma schools facing a teacher and childcare worker shortage. Coming up, how one program could be the answer to keeping educators here in our state.
Oh my gosh, the kids are excited. She's right behind this door. She's right here. We're going to go in and surprise her.
Oh, this is just too good. Here at KOCO, we love to celebrate our teachers and work to let them know we appreciate them. KOCO and Quail Creek Bank highlighting the amazing teachers in the metro every month. And today we announced our September Teacher of the Month.
This was a good one. This is a really fun surprise. This morning during our 9 a.m. newscast, we surprised Miss Amber Tudor at Myers Elementary in Yukon. Take a listen.
The kids are excited. She's right behind this door. She's right here. We're going to go in and surprise her. Miss Tudor, how are you? We're going to come inside your classroom here for a second, get away from the noise. I am Sky 5 pilot Chase Rutledge, and you are our September Teacher of the Month. Congratulations. We're going to move in right in here so we can get all these people in here. Oh, man, there was a lot of kids out there. Did you hear them all chanting? No. So we've got a group of people here for you to surprise you. We really appreciate all the work that our teachers do around the metro. Ms. Tudor, tell us a little bit about your story and how you like working here at Myers Elementary.
Oh, I teach STEM to kindergartners to third graders, and I I have the best job. Obviously, I get free hugs.
Look, they're giving her a hug right there. She was going to buy robots with her check. I love that Chase said, let's get away from the noise. And he went to the classroom, and I think it was louder in there.
Every elementary
It's
school.
typical. A big congratulations. So deserved, Miss Tudor. And again, we need your help to find the best teachers in the Metro. Nominate someone today to be our October Teacher of the Month. The winner will get a check just like that, $1,000 for their project on donorschoose.org.
Love to see it. Well, all the rumors are true. Country music artist Luke Combs announcing his 2026 My Kinda Saturday Night World Tour, and it is coming to Norman. OU announcing he is set to perform Saturday, May 9th at Memorial Stadium. He'll be joined by some special guests, Dierks Bentley and Ty Myers.
And we are currently in need of two things right now: soaking rain and a strong cold front. When this weather pattern will now change for you, coming up.
Retain and recruit. That is the mission of Oklahoma schools with an ongoing shortage of teachers and child care workers.
Would free child care for their kids keep teachers in the classroom? KOCO's Elise Jones looked into a local district who just launched their version.
40% of child care workers here at Kirkland Elementary benefit from this new legislation, and the principal says it takes a major financial burden off their shoulders.
Does help lessen the childcare desert that Oklahoma is known for.
Putnam City and other districts across Oklahoma seeing success from a new state law allowing child care workers to have free child care of their own, lessening their financial burden and helping get more qualified workers in the classroom.
It would be costing a family upwards of $7,000 to put one child in childcare for a year.
Catherine Cruz says after having a baby, coming back to the profession she loves wasn't an easy decision.
I'd say it's been 20 years since I've started childcare. My son turned 2, and I was looking to start back to work and also be in the same building.
But she took a leap, and when she heard her son could be in the same building at no cost,
I literally cried when I heard that I was going to be having free childcare, because that was going to be like a big cut in my paycheck.
And she's not alone. The school's principal says it's an emotional opportunity. And while Putnam City's child care program started a decade ago, she says this law is changing the program as they know it.
It makes it so much more enticing for me to recruit and retain young mothers to serve and teach and lead in our community. Our children are our greatest and most important resource, that we are investing in future leaders in our wonderful great state.
Elise Jones, KOCO 5 News.
And here we are now tracking what we need to be a nice cool down on the way, because temperatures have been so warm lately. As of right now, this October is the warmest on record. Now, I know we're only a couple days into it, but last October was the 5th warmest on record. So it would be nice to drop these temperatures by quite a bit just to get things feeling more like fall. And well, that's not how you do it. Right now, it is 84 degrees outside here in Oklahoma City. Where should these numbers be this time of the year? We should be in the mid 70s for highs. We felt that for about 2 days, and now things have warmed back up. Mid 80s for central Oklahoma right now, mid to upper 80s in western Oklahoma, and tomorrow even warmer than today. So lows tonight. This is not how you bring down your temperatures from that record right now, because our averages, we should be down in the lower 50s. We're only down to around 60 degrees for a low temperature tomorrow for western Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, and tomorrow we're not at 76 degrees for a high. Instead, we're at 87 for a high. So we start out at 60 by lunchtime, and it's in the lower 80s. And as you're making your way home from work for the last day of the work week here, it is a warm one. And tomorrow night, those high school football games kicking off, you're liking this mild weather. The evenings are fantastic, really, and enjoy them as much as you can, because we know that as we get deeper into October, then build up to November, suddenly those cold fronts get stronger and stronger and stronger. They will return, I promise you. So tomorrow, mid to upper 80s, about 90 degrees, well above that average of 76. And then on Saturday, more of the same, upper 80s to around 90 degrees for central and western Oklahoma. So the weather is quiet. Where's the cold air? It is way up here. It's in northern Canada, the Northwest Territory, going into Alaska. And there have been some signs in the data that little pieces of cold air will start to break apart from way up north and drop down to the south and bring in some changes for us about 11 days out from now. So about a week and a half. And get this, some of the newest data that rolled in just this afternoon was showing temperatures making a run into the 30s down into the panhandle. So there certainly will be some changes on the way, but it's going to take a little bit of patience in here. So as of right now, the next cold front that we have on the way, we're just going to call it a weak one for now. We'll see if we need to adjust this as we go into next week. And we still have about a week and a half, plenty of time to watch it. But this will be one of the big things that we are keeping a close eye on tonight on KOCO 5 News, as well as all throughout the weekend and going into next week. So our next cold front's moving in. As of right now, we'll bring in the cooler air about a week and a half out. If you're looking for your first freeze, it's more than likely going to occur after we average our first freeze, which are these dates right here. We average our first freeze in northern Oklahoma right around the 24th, 25th, 26th of this month, and right around Halloween here in Oklahoma City. So I haven't seen any type of at least signs of a significant cold front moving in. But stay tuned. Again, we're going to watch it. We know how fast things can change here. So, by the way, there are at least a couple isolated thunderstorm chances in there for Sunday and Monday. Hopefully, we can bump up these storm chances. They're all going to be tied to the remnants of a tropical system moving in here. So, only a 20% chance of rain right now for Sunday and Monday. And then temperatures beginning to drop as we go into next weekend. And you're up to date with the latest First Alert forecast.
John Mateer is still in question for the upcoming game, OU Texas. We've got a little bit of an update for you on his availability. That's coming up next right here on KOCO.
KOCO 5 Sports.
So all week we've been waiting to get some type of an update on quarterback John Mateer's status after undergoing hand surgery just a few weeks ago. But Oklahoma is leaving that door open that he might play, keeping Texas guessing. So in the initial SEC availability report released Wednesday night, John Mateer was listed as questionable alongside Keontae Lewis after Lewis dove for an overthrown pass and collided into that brick wall, later carted off the field. Thankfully, he's doing much better now. Thursday and Friday, we'll get a daily update on both teams' availability, but as of Wednesday evening, this is where things stand. We'll give you an update tonight at 10 when the report is later updated. Here's the Longhorns head coach Steve Sarkisian on how they plan to deal with the questions at quarterback.
We'll plan for Mateer. You have to. He's a dynamic player. He's the heartbeat of that offense for sure. Everything goes through him. We played against Hawkins last year. He's a much improved player. Like most young players, they get better over time. You can see his improvement for sure. But Coach Arbuckle's got a great scheme. We got to prepare for the scheme.
So Texas will have a game plan for both quarterbacks, but I do not expect a final word on Mateer's status anytime soon. That will most likely be a game time decision 90 minutes before kickoff. That's it for sports.
All right, Hannah, thank you. This new at 6 o'clock, ending the death penalty, a worldwide movement to abolish it, making its way inside the Oklahoma State Capitol today.
The day is recognized every year on October 10th to mobilize leaders in politics, organizations, communities to challenge the very thought of the death penalty. Among those in the Capitol today, Nikki Nice of OKC, Senator Nikki Nice, she says the first step is to pass a moratorium, a halt in Oklahoma.
So the purpose of that moratorium is to allow time to conduct a review that considerations can be made to incorporate recommendations from the 2017 Oklahoma Death Penalty Commission report into death penalty practices.
Senator Nice says she expects that moratorium, Senate Bill 601, to be reintroduced in the upcoming session and wants to pause executions to form a committee and review the procedure death penalty here in Oklahoma. So many of you following this story, not the update that we wanted to report tonight. The search for that missing college student, SWOSU student, is over. But many questions still remain. What happened to him? State investigators are trying to figure this out.
Authorities say the body of 18-year-old Logan Musil was found near Veterans Lake in Sulphur. Musil first reported missing 2 weeks ago, last seen on campus at Southwestern Oklahoma State University. He was a student there. Well, now someone is in custody in connection with his death. Investigators say there was some kind of altercation between the two. The suspect, also 18, was arrested this morning there on campus. OSBI says they are working with federal authorities because the suspect is tribal.
More when you join us tonight at 10 o'clock. That's the news at 6. We'll see you back here in just a few hours.